And once again, welcome to Pankaj's Echelon Tutorials. In this today's session, I'm going to deal with certain conversion problems. And you can see on the screen, you have some A to I conversions. And these are very simple conversions, but I'm going to do these conversions by two different algorithm. Okay. In today's session, I'm going to use something called conversion factor, and I'm going to deal with these questions. I mean, how to get the answers. Okay. And another method will be without using the conversion factor. I mean to say, if somehow due to some reason you don't remember the conversion factor all of a sudden, you just forget what the conversion factor is between the conversion that you want to handle. Okay. Or by some way you have made a mistake in deciding the conversion factor, then what should be done? Okay, so what is the alternative in that case? So that is a different approach. Today I'm going to teach you an approach where you will have to use only the conversion factor. So to start with, let us let us start with the sub question A. It says that 6 centimeters squared is equal to how many millimeters square? Okay. Now, simple question. You can see 6 centimeters square. You have to convert and write it in millimeters square. Very first thing that you should know is what is the conversion factor between millimeter and centimeter. Fine. So, the conversion factor is this one. 10 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter. Everybody knows that. Okay. Fine. We want millimeter square. So if I squared both the sides, so it will be 100 millimeter square will be equal to 1 centimeter square. Fine. So I get this 100 millimeter square as the conversion factor, right? Now, if I want to convert anything from centimeter square to millimeter square or millimeter square to centimeter square, I can make use of this conversion factor. So it is decided that the conversion factor, I'll write CF, for a pair of millimeter square and centimeter square is 100. Once it is decided, once it is known that 100 is the conversion factor, now what to do? Now your question is 6 centimeters squared, you have to convert into millimeter square, isn't it? You have to convert it into millimeter square. Now, decide which is a smaller unit, which is a bigger unit. Now, this centimeter square and millimeter square, which is a smaller and which is the bigger unit, that you have to decide. And everybody knows that centimeter square is bigger unit than the millimeter square. So, the numerical value is always the other way. Okay. So, a bigger unit will have smaller numerical value in front of it, and the smaller unit will have bigger numerical value. So here, whatever numerical value will be coming, that will be bigger than 6. Now, what can be done with this 100 to get an answer which is bigger than 6? There are two options. Either you multiply or you divide. So if I multiply by 100, 6, if I multiply by 100, I get an answer 600, which is bigger than 6. And if I divide 6 by 100, I get the answer as 0.06, which is smaller than 6. And I don't want the smaller answer, I want the bigger answer. So 6 centimeter square will be 600 millimeter square. That's it. So in one go, you got the answer, 600 millimeter square. Got it? But then in this process, first you should rightly decide what is the conversion factor. Then you have to decide whether you have to multiply or divide that particular numerical value by that conversion factor, or you have to multiply or divide by that conversion factor, that you have to decide. So you are done with that A. Now let us try B. Okay. Now B question says that 7.2 centimeter squared is equal to how many millimeter squared, right? Again, the conversion factor between centimeter square and millimeter square is decided, it is 100. So now this millimeter square is a smaller unit than centimeter square. So the numerical value should be bigger than 7.2. To get a bigger number than 7.2, you will have to multiply 7.2 by the conversion factor. So your answer that should come over here will be 7.2 times 100, which is equal to 720. So the answer you get here is 720. Are you getting it? So it's very quick, but then you should be very, very confident about the conversion factor, number one. And second, you should be very confident whether you have to multiply or you have to divide. I have seen in my career many students, instead of multiplying, they divide 7.2 by 100 and they get obviously a very wrong answer. So this is the trick behind it, how to decide. Okay, so which is a smaller unit, which is a bigger unit, that comparison you should very nicely understand. Many students I have seen, they think that centimeter square is a smaller unit than millimeter square, or if at all they don't think that way, but somehow they come to that conclusion that okay, centimeter square must be smaller than millimeter square. If that mistake is done, again they are in the problem. And once you decide which is the smaller unit, you have to go the other way. So smaller unit will always have a numerical value in front of it, which will be bigger than that which is at a in front of the bigger unit. Okay, so basically there's one logical statement. N stands for numerical value, U stands for unit. So n1 u1 is equal to n2 u2. Okay, now this means that n1 upon n2 is equal to u2 n1 u1 n1 upon n2 is equal to u2 upon u1. Okay, now this is a statement which tells you that n is inversely proportional to u. Okay, this statement is telling you that n is inversely proportional to u. That means if the numerical value is more, the unit will be less, and if the numerical value is less, the unit has to be bigger. Okay, so always remember this thing. If the numerical value is greater, then the unit along with that numerical value will be smaller one. Okay, so this is the logic. Now let us go for the C part of this question. C says that 3 meters squared is equal to how many centimeters squared? Okay, now again you will have to decide what is the conversion factor. So this is how you have to decide the conversion factor. Okay, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Fine. So 1 meter square will be equal to squaring both the sides, you will get 10,000 centimeters square. Now can you see meter square and centimeter square? The conversion factor is 10,000, or you can say 10 raised to 4. 10 raised to 4 is the conversion factor. Fine. Once it is decided this is the conversion factor, now from 3 meter square you want the answer how many centimeters square. 3 meter square is how many centimeters square. So obviously the centimeter square being a smaller unit than meter square, the numerical value in this box will be bigger than 3. And to get a bigger answer, you'll have to multiply by 10,000. So you'll have to multiply 3 by 10,000 to get 30,000 as your answer. So 3 meter square is 30,000 centimeters square. Are you getting me? Let us go for the D one. D says that 5.4 meters squared is equal to how many centimeters squared. So the conversion factor between meter square and centimeter square is 10,000. Now I want the numerical value to be filled in front of centimeter square, which is a smaller unit. So the numerical value has to be bigger than 5.4, and that will be possible if I multiply 5.4 by 10,000. If I multiply 5.4 by 10,000, I get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 54,000 is the answer, right? Let us try E, F, and G, H, I as well quickly. E will be 900 millimeters squared is equal to how many centimeters squared. Now it will be fast. Between millimeter square and centimeter square, the conversion factor is 100. And I want the numerical value in front of the bigger unit. Okay, so when I want it in front of the bigger unit means I will have to divide 900 by this thing. Okay, by this conversion factor, right? So I'm going to divide 900 by, I'm not going to multiply, I'm going to divide 900 by the conversion factor, right? Yeah, 900 divide by 100, which will give me the answer as 9. But this will be 9. So did you see that the conversion factor here I had to divide? Okay, so that is very important. When you have to multiply, when you have to divide, that should be very well known to you. Now F is 865 millimeters squared is equal to how many centimeters square? Again, the conversion factor is 100. I want to write the numerical value in front of centimeter square, which is a bigger unit. So this has to be smaller number. So 865, I will have to divide by 100 to get a smaller number, and this will give me 8.65. This is 8.65. Okay. Now let us go for FG. G is 20,000 centimeters square into meter square. Okay, 20,000 centimeters square to meter square. How many meters square? Okay, so again the conversion factor is 10,000. Okay, now you want what should be in front of meter square. Meter square is bigger than centimeter square, so the numerical value should be less than 20,000. So I'll do one thing, 20,000 I'm going to divide by 10,000, and this is going to give me 2 as the answer. So the answer here will be 2. H says that 48,000 centimeters square to meter square. 48,000 centimeters square is equal to how many meter square? That's it. So conversion factor again is 10 raised to 4, and this time I'm going to do what? I'm going to divide 48,000 by 10,000. Okay, and this will give me the answer as 4.8. So the answer here is 4.8. And the last one, I, is 1,25,000 centimeters square. 1,25,000 centimeters squared is equal to how many meters squared? Okay, again the conversion factor between centimeter square and meter square is 10,000. So 125,000 I am going to divide by 10,000. Why I've divided, you know very well, and I'll get the answer as 125 upon 10, which is 12.5. So this answer will be 12.5. So in this video I have used the conversion factor to get all these answers to these various conversions. In the next video I'm going to explain you how the same conversion can be done without making use of any conversion factor. So though there won't be any need to remember any conversion factor, but there the steps will be 1 or 2 steps will be more, but that method is more preferable, more advisable for students, because there the chances of making mistake will be very, very less. Okay, so both the methods I want you to understand. This was the method where you have used the conversion factor. In the next video I'm coming up with a method where you are not going to use any conversion factor but something else. Okay, so that was all for today's session. See you in the next session. Bye, take care all of you.